So on today's video, we're going to be talking about what postpartum anxiety is like and what it can make you do, or what you can think about. Just like every pregnancy is different, every woman's postpartum or postnatal depression is different. Some have it by just crying all the time. Some having by they are really losing it up here. They are not themselves. It can happen like that. Some don't want to bond with babies. Some don't. Some are just having rage and anger inside of them. While others don't want to be with their husbands. The most dangerous thing after childbirth is the mind, is the brain. Don't ever underestimate it. Okay, sleep when they tell you to sleep. Sleep when the baby sleeps. That is a saying that has been here for ever since we all come. Every new mother knows that she has to sleep. Don't take that as a joke or for granted, because a lack of sleep, the brain, when she is fragile, she will take in anything, and there is going to be a lot of things that can trigger the brain. And without you noticing, then you are already depressed. Or without you knowing it, you are 6 feet under the ground. And that's how dangerous childbirth is. Take it really seriously. Before we start, if you are a mother currently going through this, girl, let me tell you, don't give up on yourself. Okay, don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on those thoughts, because this is what you're feeling is just temporary. I wish somebody would have told me when I was going through this that this is what some mothers go through. Some mothers, like 1 in 10 mothers, go through. That what we are dealing with is more, it's not like baby blues, but it's more severe, but it can pass. And why can it pass? If you reach out for help, it will pass. And to those fathers and to all those mothers who told me and gave me the strength to finally get my act together and the courage to come sit here and share with you, I just want to say that healing, may that healing find you, okay? No matter how long it takes. I'm also working on my healing. It's not going to come tomorrow. It's not going to come today. But I know that healing is for everyone. So thank you that you came out and say that my wife lost her life to this and I did not know what it was. Thank you to those mothers that said that I was almost doing this to my child. I almost do something as this because I did not know what it was. Thank you that you opened up and told me that what I was dealing with when I felt like I was going crazy, that I was not the only one, okay? So thank you for that. But once you have given birth, some mothers experience anxiety. And this anxiety can be like the mother is sometimes worried about the baby, or worried, she feels like she was worried about the safety of the baby, or other times she worried about things that are not even there, or things that are not even existing. So I had anxiety. It all started when my childhood friend, may her soul rest in peace, Julia, when I heard a voice note from home about my childhood friend's passing. And I remember that after I listened to that voice note, something in me changed. But prior to that, my cousin has passed 3 years now, and I always had this grief inside of me. And then I was always asking myself, but why God, why her? She was just 25 and she had 3 kids. And suddenly I started feeling, I don't know, different. When I was listening to that voice note, it was like I was like trying to have a nap in the afternoon, and I would play the voice note all over and all over. But then suddenly I just feel like something happened to me. I don't know how to explain to you this feeling, but it was like I'm possessed or something. And then I started fearing death. I was constantly fearing something would happen to the kids, something would happen to me. And I remember that made me like I was crying all the time. I was panicking, I was crying. And but before that, the first weeks, after the first month, I was healthy, I was very fun with the kids, I was just a present mother. I enjoyed having a baby in the house, and it was just like a light. But then after that voice note, I don't know, something just happened. And then I started then I was having this anxiety of the fear of death, that in the night especially in the night when I was breastfeeding Adrian, I was like scared to close my eyes, because then I will see her. And when I was like, and then also at some point that this gave me like the feeling of like in the night where I wanted to be with my kids all the time, because I was just scared like something would happen to them. And I remember my cousin, she was someone very dear to me, and I loved her and I miss her so much. May your soul rest in peace. She and I were always close as kids, and when I received that call, from home, something obviously it changed me about my perspective in life. And then I was like, life is so short, it can happen. If death can take away someone that was more, she was very like, she was the opposite of me. Let me say, she was very opposite of me. Everything that I'm doing going wild, she was always calm and things like that. So I was very shocked that it happened to her, and I was like, God, why did you do that? And in the night, I just wanted to be around my kids. I was like thinking about her kids. I thought I was not deserving. Every time when I was in the night, I was thinking I'm not deserving to be a mother. Because why would God give me the kids, and why would God take her? I was having those kind of thoughts, and I was like, feel like I was constantly thinking about her children. She had 3 boys. The youngest was like, I think 1 year or less. So, and when I was holding my kids, I was always thinking about him, and I would panic in the night, and I was like, maybe he's getting cold, and I will think that her child is getting cold, he's looking for her. And then I will look for like if they're both, my kids are breathing, and then I will like sit up and I said, please God, no matter what I do in life, please do not take me, please, my kids need me. I know her kids need her. Why did you take her? I was constantly having that thought of fear of death. And then I remember that this were like, it feels like it was not gonna go away. The worrying was like, I was worrying about this thing, and then the next thing I'm worrying about. And then Adrian, like, he had eczema, so he was constantly crying. And then I was like worrying constantly, like maybe he's gonna die. Oh no, what kind of a mother I cannot take care of him. He has eczema. What did I eat? And then I did not want to eat anymore, because I would fear that if I'm eating, this is harming him. And then that kind of affected also my milk flow, because it's no longer nutritious. His father, his name is Nicholas. So when he had to work, he had like I think 2 weeks or 1 week he had to work. Then after that he was gonna get the parental leave for 3 months and help him with the kids. And one day, like it was in the morning, one of those mornings that I haven't slept. I was up all night with the kids. And then in the morning I had to take Hailey to school, because in Sweden, like if a mother gives birth, the oldest child doesn't have long or full day at home. So I had to go pick her up at 1:30, and I was not sleeping well. I was constantly worrying something would happen, constantly, like I was not sitting still. I was like up and down doing this, trying to do this, like thinking about this. And minds of that, one morning me and Hailey were like coloring in her room. I remember that we were coloring, and she was crying, and Adrian was also crying, and the both of them crying, and I was not sleeping. So I just stood up, and then I took the table, and I wanted to smash the table, but I don't know, but there was something in me. There was such a big anger. I've never felt something like that. It was such a strong anger. And then I took a step back, and then I took the pencils, and then I said, Hailey, go out, go out, go out. And then I took Adrian, and then I put Adrian in the bedroom, and then Hailey went out, and then I started breaking the pencils one by one, breaking them. And then I ran out and stand in the fresh air. I went outside, and then I was breathing, and then I said, oh God, what is wrong with me? What kind of mother am I? Why can I not just be calm, be with the kids? What's wrong with me? Why am I constantly thinking like this, or these thoughts of I'm gonna die, or the kids are gonna die? And then I was fearing so much everything around me. I was fearing of touching things. I was fearing of being with the kids alone. I don't know, it's like the anxiety was too much. Like I thought something bad was going to happen anytime. And then my midwife, so I call her, and then I said like, listen, I haven't slept well. I feel like I'm having thoughts that somebody's going to die, or I'm going to die. I don't want to die. And then she said, Joanne, calm down. You need to sleep. And then it's important. You need help with the kids. And then I was like, okay. And then she told me to come in. And then I came in and they were explaining that this can happen if you don't get enough sleep. Important that I need rest and somebody helps me with the kids. But I did not know who to come and help me with the kids, because my thoughts were like going, oh, like up and down, up and down. And then they said that, oh, they would give me like a therapist or something like that. So I was going like, they were explaining those days. They were just explaining to me that this will pass. And then the anxiety was now getting too much it was like in my stomach. And then I remember I called my grandmother and then I said like, Mommy, like, you have 9 children and I don't know what is wrong with me. I feel like something is wrong. And then she said, what you're going through is called postnatal depression. Some mothers get this, and there's gonna be a day if you don't get the help or if you don't sleep, you will not remember your kids or you will not remember who you are. And then immediately I thought about postpartum psychosis, like some mothers really go. And then I was like, God, am I really like those mothers? And then I was reading about it, that some mothers harm the kids, they take their own lives, or they go totally insane, or so I was like, oh my God, I panicked. And then I was now fearing that I will become that mother. I was fearing, oh my God, maybe I will become one of those mothers that really harms the kids, and or I will be the mother that will do something to herself because she thought it was difficult for her. But before this, I've never felt like weak in my life. It was the first time that I ever felt weak. And I was like, but what is wrong with me? I was like, and then I went immediately when I finished talking with my grandmother. I remember I went to the kitchen, and I stayed in the kitchen and I started hiding all the sharp objects in the house. I started hiding and I put it away and I did not want to see it. And then I was telling myself, and I wrote down on the fridge some words that I could read. And then I would like, every time when I feel like I'm panicking, I'm stressing, I would say, I am in control. I love my children. This is gonna pass. I told those and I would look at those words, but those words, whew, did it? Oh, but those words were not comforting enough. Those words were like, it comes in my mind, but it doesn't stay there. And then it feels like I was like, oops, sorry. It felt like it was anytime somebody was telling me that maybe it will pass, or like my doctor, or like my midwife was telling me, Joanne, this will pass, I did not believe them. I did not think that this will pass. I thought what I was going through was more only what I was dealing with. I thought there was no mother who was dealing with this. I thought I was the only one. And I remember that one night I could not sleep. It was a Saturday. And then everything became too much. My mind was going up and down, up and down. I was worrying about this. And then at the same time, I was worrying about the next thing, things that were not even there. And then I decided to take the phone, and it was 3 in the morning. And I decided to call the hospital. And then they said, no, they don't deal with mental health problems like, anxiety and those things are mental health. I should call the psychiatric ward. And then I went with the kids, and I walked in there. Hailey was sitting with with the father, and then he was starting to worry also about me, how I was feeling, but he trusted me so much. And then he said that I was gonna get through it, and every word he was saying, but I could not believe it. And I was like, I went to that nurse, she was from Caribbean, and she said to me, before you walked in here, there were other mothers who were here in the same situation as you, but you are the mother that showed, because I was with Adrian and I was like worried about, I was explaining to her, he has eczema, why are they not giving me a proper cream? And my oldest daughter, and I was like so much telling her, and then she's like, you are worrying, you care about your kids. Some mothers, when they come in, they don't care, they feel like, and then those words were like comforting to me, that okay, I care about the kids, but I'm not also the only mother that has come here, so I should not be ashamed or feeling guilty. And then she said, I will not let the social services take your kids away, but they can help you. And then for me, my mind was like I was in my own world. I just said, oh, and then she gave me a sleeping pillow. And then that morning, something just told me I need to be around a mother. Maybe if I'm around, like she said, other mothers, they would probably tell me that this will pass and this will go away. This is just, or maybe she will hold me. Whew. Some things are very hard to talk about, but it's important we talk so some mothers can know that they're not the only ones. I just feel like maybe if I'm gonna be around another mother who has experienced something similar to me, or just anyone who has given birth, maybe they will reassure me that what I was going through, they went through, and then I was gonna be better. So I called my colleague, one guy, love you girl, I love you. And then she said, just come over. And then there was 6 in the morning and I went with Adrian. And then she said, I will hold Adrian, you go take a shower. She made some nice food and her husband was making food and they were helping me, explaining to me. But they obviously, it was also something new to them. She has never experienced that. They both have never seen someone like this now. So I was constantly worrying, and then I wanted to sit close to her. And obviously maybe she was also like a little bit nervous. Joanne, what is wrong with you? But she did not say anything. And then we were talking, and then I mentioned that the social services said the doctor, the nurse or the doctor said that the social services are now, they're going to give my case. And then she was like worried that not the social services were involved, and I've never seen her. She's like, no, I don't trust this thing. And then and I was now, when I came home, I remember that afternoon I cried. I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried and I said, no, the kids, they're gonna take away my kids. Oh, they're gonna take away the kids. They will. And then I remember, and then Nicholas was like, no, they will not. You are not hitting the kids. Why would they come now and take the kids? And then I was like, no, they will come and take the kids because they will think that I'm unstable. I cannot take care of the kids. And at the same time, I'm thinking about the house, because I told him, please, we need to come home. And I was not like in the condition that would clean. I was like so much tired, overwhelmed with so much thoughts, like this thought and this thing and these things that were not even real. I was constantly worrying about things. So, and then I told him, no, we need to clean the house, let's organize the house. And then he was like, yes, yes, yes. But I was like, I need to go and clean the house, otherwise if the socials come and see the house, they will pick the kids up and they will take them away from. Oh, and then I was like coming down, and then in the night, there was a thought that came to me, because the mind was going on and on and on, and then the thought said, like, maybe call the socials so they take the kids temporary and they can deport me, to my home. Yes, if you can ask me what kind of a mother thinks like that, I will tell you. At that point, I thought my kids were safe with anyone else than me. Yeah, at that point, I thought my kids were safe for anyone else than with me, because I was like, I was still scared. What if I become that woman? I was like reading, those mothers, about those mothers that do something, and then because I started reading more about it, and the more I was reading, the more I was scared of what I was going through. So that thought came to me, and then I was like just imagining my grandmother sleeping in the bed with her. Now she telling me I'll be okay. Or seeing my sister Wendy, I was looking forward to that. I was like, maybe I should just tell them to take the kids temporary and deport me, because for the first time I felt I was alone. Them. Oh, sorry, ladies. For the first time, I felt I was alone. I felt weak. I felt alone. I thought I was incapable of anything. I thought shame that what if I will be that mother? What if I will take my life? Because it felt like it was not ending. It feels like there was something inside of me that I was just pulling me in. Like, you know, if you were somebody pulling you inside the grave, it felt like it. It's like, it's not, they were not pulling you immediately, but it like it pulls you slowly into a hole, and it will cover you and you will never come. It felt like it felt like there was no other way out. It feels like you are the mother, and you don't, and you will be selfless. It's either you are a selfless mother or you will be a selfish mother. So I was like, let me be a selfish mother, okay? Let me think about my well-being. Maybe it's better if I call the psychiatric again, or I go back, they deport me, and just keep the kids safe from me. Maybe I'm that monster mother. You know, I thought I was a monster. I remember when I broke those pencils, I told Hailey, I'm a monster. And then she came running to me, Mama, you are not a monster. Mama, you are not. And then she hugged me. And then I take Adrian. I was sitting with them. And then obviously I took the bus and I went to the hospital where my midwife is. And at that moment, you know, it was so many things that were like scaring me and like worry, and I was worrying about things that were not there, things that were like, you know, it's like, whew, I don't know how to ever explain, if there's a word to explain what I was feeling there. But be nice to new mothers, okay? Be nice. You don't know what they are dealing with, how they are feeling. You know, the thing is, you will not know what she's thinking about or how she's feeling, because it's something from inside. It's something from inside that just tells you are dead. And it feels like it's like feels like you're not alive anymore. It's like I was looking at myself in the mirror. I could not recognize myself. It's like, oh, Joanne, where are you? I was like talking to myself and I was like, where are you, girl? What happened? This is nothing, you know, because I gave birth to Hailey, and 1 month after I was alone with her in an apartment, I was taking care of her. She had eczema as well, but I've never felt something like that. You know, I was with Adrian's, but that I was depressed, and it was so shocking what the anxiety was to. It was making my mind, I was thinking of this and this and this and this, and then I was, please call, and I remember I only wanted to be around mothers. I'll call my friends that are mothers, please just come and sit. And then some of the people, they don't live in the same country as me, just fly. And when they will say that they could not, and I will always say that, but I'm that friend that if, or family member, if someone call me and ask me for help, I'm always there. Why hasn't anyone ever thought I would need help? Or, you know, and then I try to reach out to my friends, and then one of my friends came, and then she helped me and we were laughing. The other one helped me with the cleaning, you know, and then I realized that I was not alone. My mother-in-law, obviously, she was helping me, and, you know, she was comforting me. And then eventually, with all many of these things, you know, because I could not sleep and I was constantly thinking and thinking and thinking, I had a panic attack. And when I had that panic attack, because I was so much assuming, like, you know, I was gonna die, because it's like if I'm closing my eyes, I think I'm gonna die. If I'm awake, then I'm by the door. If I hear a car, I'm thinking it's the social services. If I'm this, I feel if something falls, I feel like the kids are gonna die. I was just seeing death. It's like my childhood friend's death overwhelmed me. It put something that maybe a fear of death to me. And I've never felt so much like, you know, I was scared to close, and all those things at the same time gave me a panic attack. And I remember when I saw my kid's father name, and Adrian was screaming and he was screaming, he wanted to breastfeed. And then I was having this anxiety that I've ruined Hailey's life. I was like, oh, I'm such a bad mother. Why did I give birth? Maybe it was better I should have just been with her. And, you know, I was like feeling like that I was unable to love them both. You know, there was also anxiety that, because sometimes they will both cry and I did not know who to attend first. You know, if I attend to Adrian, then she always give me this stare. And if I attend to her, then he's screaming. And I was like, but how did other mothers do it? You know, it was like I was constantly being harsh on myself, and I was constantly like the words, like, they know the thoughts they were telling me, like, my kids were better off without me, but it's all a lie. They are not gonna be better off without their mother. So is your kids, okay? And when I had that panic attack, I told my kid's father, I think it's time that you have to take care of the kids from now. I think my heart is gonna stop, because it was ever in my whole life that I've experienced panic attack. So I thought I was gonna, like, now eventually I was gonna die. So I told him that, listen, like, you take care of the kids. And I wrote to my sister Wendy that I love her. And I told him that, please tell Hailey that I love her. So she, when she comes from dialysis, she knows that at least those words were from me, And then I was having this image, like, I don't know, I was seeing my cousin and my childhood friend, and then they were like waving back to me, and I was waving, and it was like a constant, like, like the death that came to me, that over, like, it was too much, like, whew, just to think about it even. And then I remember saying to myself, I did not come this far to come and die in a foreign country, never. And I know my kids need me, and I would never. And those are the words I was telling myself. And then I was unconscious, like, I was waiting for the heart to stop. But I'm saying those things. And I remember I did not even know imagine the Our Father, the prayer. I remember I asking my sister, how do you pray that? And mind you, I know Our Father, like, I know it now. I want to learn it now in Swedish, but I know it in Damara, like, I know, but I did not even know it, That time it was like, they did not even want me to say that, but I was trying to say those words. I say, I'm not gonna die. My kids need me. And I say to my cousin and my childhood friend Julia, both of them, I call them by their names, and I said, no, rest in peace, okay? This is just, you are just in my mind, you are just overwhelming me with the fear, but I'm not going anywhere. These kids, they are small. Adrian is crying, he needs me. He needs me. And then I slept. And then the pill I got, it was like a very strong sleeping pill. And when I woke up, I think about from few hours of sleeping, I remember I've never in those seconds, it was like I told you, it feels like I was possessed now. But now this time, it was like something went off from me. It was something went out from me, or I don't know if I will ever make sense. I know I sound like really, but it really felt like it. It felt like something went out from me, or something went on, because when I slept and wake up, I just wanted to see my kids. It was like I had so much love. Like I just took Adrian, and then my mother-in-law said, no, you're not gonna breastfeed him ever again. And then I said, oh, okay, I will not breastfeed him, but I will give him a bottle. And every time I give him a bottle, he would feel that I love him. And and when I saw Hailey for the first time in her, for the first time, I was not having anxiety. I was not fearing something will happen to her. I was not fearing that I was unable to love her. I hold her, and then she's just like mama. And then I was like, does she feel that I'm a different person now? Because I feel like I'm very different now. And then I was playing with them. I remember we were my mother-in-law has this bench, a brown table, and we were both like, she was standing there and she was jumping towards me, and my kid's father and his mother-in-law said, no, can we leave you alone with the kids to go to the store? I was more than confident to say, oh yes, go. I was like, I just probably needed a sleep, or I don't know what I needed, but I don't know, when I slept and when I woke up, it all ended. The anxiety ended, but obviously I needed to see a psychologist, and I saw the doctors, and they gave me like the antidepressant pills. I will share with you more all about it. But That is how anxiety can be like for new mothers. It can be very different. We all experience it differently, but you at home, I'm not sharing this for you to say, oh, feel sorry for me, but I want you to know that I'm sharing this, something as vulnerable as this with you all here, to know that this can happen to any mother, and it has happened. Many mothers thought that they will never come out from this, and then they took their own lives. Or they thought that, it's also the voices telling them things, like you hear voices, you are delusional, you hallucinate, you see things that are not here. Some mothers go to that extent, you know. For me, I was the fear. I was scared of things around me. I was scared about touching it, about the what ifs. What if this goes wrong? What if the child doesn't, I was constantly in fear of anything going wrong, and that gave me so much anxiety. So please, if you're watching this at home, like I said, please go reach out for help. This will save you, okay? And even if the voices tell you this, remind yourself and tell them, okay, look yourself in the mirror and pray. Sit on those knees and pray, and then say, God, I know that you made me a mother for a reason, and I will never, in any situation, submit to my thoughts. Tell yourself like that, because I know you are stronger than you think, and don't ever feel weak, because I know how it feels to be weak, but I know you are strong, okay? Take this, and then you say that if Joanne can go through this, what about me? And I know that you can get through it as well. And to the husbands and to the fathers, always remember that this is the most sacred time of a mother. She is so vulnerable. She is so, like, she's like a newborn baby. It's like she gave birth to a baby, but also she is born. She is learning with the baby. Nobody is born to know what to take care of a baby, how to take care of, but you are constantly learning. You have hormones, this thing, it can be combination of the hormones, it can be combination of psychological things, spiritual things, motherhood. It has a lot of causes that can make us like this. But you fathers, helping her, reassuring her that she's gonna be okay, hugging her, telling her, if you cannot tell her with words, write her a letter and say, baby, you are doing amazing, you are a great mother, you can get over it. Make for a coffee and say, let's go for a walk, let me take the baby, let me, like, you look still beautiful. Reassure her. And the more she feels love, the more she feels cared for, I'm sure this will go away. I'm sure it will pass. And let me tell you, I'm saying this, that it will pass. Okay? It will pass. It's just temporary. I wish when I was going through this, I would have come to these channels and everywhere. Somebody, not, I grew up in a family where there's a lot of kids. The kids were born every single day, but nobody has ever mentioned that this is, or this is what it was. Nobody has said it then. But if I would have heard a real story from somebody's mouth, somebody that was not ashamed to say to me that, Joanne, listen, this is what I was dealing with, and this is what you are dealing with. You can get over it. It's gonna pass. I would have not feared anything, but nobody has said anything until I started sharing, and I openly started sharing it. And then until then, a lot of you came here and then told me, no, Joanne, this is what I also feel. But what about if you would have opened? And what about other mothers? The other mothers are sitting in jails because they kill their babies. The other mothers are staying in ground 6 feet because they committed suicide. Okay? Some things are not bad to talk about. We have to break the stigma. This is not a subject that we should be ashamed to talk about, because this is something that is happening as I'm talking to a mother, because it's 1 out of 10 mothers happening every single day. If it's not happening to you, your wife or your sister, but it is going to happen to someone you know. Just because it did not happen to you doesn't mean that it will not come for you. It will come with your children, because this life is all about, it's a cycle, So the more we talk about this kind of hurtful things, the more we save somebody. So I hope, a mom, if you're watching this currently, going through this, please take the telephone and call for help. If you feel you are getting out of control, put that baby in a safe place. Run outside. If you are going crazy, run outside, go crazy there. But let the children be at safe. Take all this sharp and things you feel like you are not, take them away from you and pray. Don't ever forget to, don't feel alone. A mother should never feel, we have always somebody to help us with the kids, and you will find yourself, you will find your voice again, and you will feel beautiful again. Okay, I'm telling you, when I was looking back at those pictures, when I was going through, you know, everything, I thought I was never gonna be like, oh, Joanne again. But girl, I am Joanne, and I'll always be Joanne. And you are you, and you will always be you. And that spark, that smile, that bond, that love, that resilience, that strength, that compassion is all gonna come back. I guarantee you. And I swear this on my life, that it will come back to you. You will be you again. And if not, write to me here in these comments and tell me. More questions about this topic, or if you have more things you want me to share about this, or you want me to cover more issues regarding this, please kindly comment below, and please do not forget to subscribe so I can share about the life in Sweden, how you can move here, the visa. Don't worry, this is called healing. Bye.